Hi, folks. Thank you, Kathy. And thanks to everyone who's hung in toward the end of this very fascinating meeting. I think what we heard today, really shows why people like me stay at the FDA for a really long time. And it also shows, I think, why we really need to bring our academic partners as close to us as at all possible. We've talked today about a number of broad societal issues, everything from misinformation to the jurisprudence about First Amendment and direct-to-consumer advertising, all the way to what Rob talked at the end about the decreased lifespan in the United States compared to other developed countries, and what are the roots of that, and what can we do about it. And so we went from that broad sweep, we went into much more detailed issues and many scientific issues. So we talked about international drug development and again, a more broad societal policy issue about how we can get some convergence. And there was issues about bringing up regulators in other areas, and also can we work together broadly to have more general worldwide approvals? And there were some ideas put forth about that. We talked about CMC, so-called chemistry manufacturing controls, and we talked about the pandemic and all the different platforms that enabled so many products to be developed so quickly compared to the usual. And this is deep into the technology now. We didn't go into detail. This wasn't that kind of technical meeting, but I can tell you, as I was at warp speed during that time, it was really a miraculous time. And I remember, for example, getting the Justice Department to grant a letter of sort of waiver or something, I'm not a lawyer, but of antitrust to the company so they could talk together. So for example, it was said Lilly and Amgen shared manufacturing capacity and so forth, and a lot of companies worked together to get that done. And certainly, as Peter Mark said, the more complicated, the more technical products, such as cellular therapies now and some of the gene therapies and so forth, we've got a long way to go. But to the extent we can standardize and share our learning, we're going to move forward faster than if we continue to keep these things under one company's control. We really do need to work together. And as the pediatrician from Stanford said, we need to bring academia in because they can help. And that, I think, has been a problem over the years, is the separation of these communities. And this meeting and the CERSIs are an example of how we can bring these better together. On combo products, I completely agree with whoever said that I think it was Jeff Shuren, I made a couple runs at trying to solve the problem of the sort of antique regulations that really aren't, they are not a good fit for current products. And so we have to torture the regulations and our interpretations to fit modern products into these schemes. And, the shoe doesn't fit very well. So those companies who are seeing, with very innovative and different products, they're seeing problems getting a jurisdictional call. I think that's what's going on. We don't have fit for purpose regulations. It just shows how policy and science, and especially innovative science, need to come together and be brought together to move things along. So I really enjoyed the debates. That was a kind of interesting feature, and those both show, I think, that there are multiple ways to address some of these policy issues that continue to bedevil the FDA and have for a long time. So my thanks to the organizers and to the CERSI. I really do think this kind of meeting, and this meeting in particular that we've had over the 3 years, shows why we need to keep FDA well integrated with the academic community. And the academic community really has a lot to gain by working very closely on all these matters. Everybody from the policy folks, the health economics people, all the way down to the people who are doing the most cutting edge science over in the Bay Area somewhere. So this isn't just closing remarks for this meeting, it's kind of closing remarks for me. I do plan to retire at the end of the month, and I've certainly enjoyed working with everybody and look forward to knowing you all in a new role in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Janet? Oh, no, she went off. Is she off? Janet?
Don't get off yet.
Hello? Janet,
Don't
don't leave.
get off yet.
Don't leave. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right, yes, we have something special for you lined up. The CERSI wants to thank you for everything you've done, really, for the country, for the world, for public health, for drug addiction, for all the different problems that have plagued, for American health. And also, I think Janet knows that when I first started interacting with you many years ago, Janet, was right around the critical paths, when you had authored the critical paths. So Janet really defined, I felt, science, regulatory science, not a term she loves. At that point in time, she called it drug development sciences. So she has been a leader in academic collaborations and in everything. And we love you, Janet. We wish you best. And Laura's going to have one parting shot.
Not going to escape us yet, Janet. So I first met Janet in 2009 when Anna Barker brought her in to help us develop the iSpy2 platform trial. And it totally changed my idea of the FDA, what the FDA was there for, and really showed me how visionary the leadership was at the FDA, and that really our responsibility is to meet them with our own initiative to drive change. Janet has served as a shining example of what it means to be a public servant, and I hope she serves as an example to those of you who are beginning your training and your careers to think about dedicating yourself to public service, because without people like her, none of these things would happen. You know, we were inspired to create this T32 training program for surgical oncology. Kathy and I put this together, and to make regulatory science a part and parcel, an integral part of training. And Ali Abbasi, as you heard from earlier, is our first fellow at the FDA. But what an amazing difference it can make. And, you know, Janet, I have learned so much from you. We've all been so inspired by you. And, you know, I think what we'd like to do is propose that you become now the first international regulatory chair of the world. So let's have a standing ovation for Janet.
Thank you.